Imagine the roar of engines, not of triumph, but of dread. High above the frozen plains of Germany, a fortress of aluminum and courage, a B-17 flying fortress churned through the thin, unforgiving air. Inside, young men barely out of their teens gripped their machine guns, their eyes scanning the endless blue for the inevitable. For hours they had flown, knowing that at a certain invisible line, their guardian angels, the short-range fighter escorts, would turn back, and then they would be alone. Utterly, terrifyingly alone. Alone against the relentless onslaught of the Luftwaffe. This was the brutal reality of strategic bombing in World War II, a terrifying gamble where every mission felt like a roll of the dice with their very lives. And for too long, the odds were stacked against them, heavily, tragically, until something arrived, something so swift, so deadly, so utterly dominant, that the enemy themselves gave it a name whispered in fear, a chilling testament to its power: death from above. In the early days of the air war over Europe, the Allied strategy was clear, yet fraught with peril. Cripple Germany's industrial might from the skies. Day after day, formations of American B-17s and B-24s and British Lancasters and Halifaxes took to the air, their bomb bays heavy with the promise of destruction. Their crews resolute in their duty, but the cost was staggering, a relentless, heartbreaking toll. The skies over places like Schweinfurt, Regensburg, and Berlin became vast, silent graveyards. German flak batteries tore through formations with terrifying precision, and the agile Messerschmitts and Focke-Wulfs of the Luftwaffe swarmed the unescorted bombers, picking them off with ruthless efficiency, one by one. The fighter escorts of the time, the P-47 Thunderbolts and P-38 Lightnings, were formidable machines, true titans of the sky in their own right. But their fuel tanks simply couldn't carry them the full distance. They could protect the bombers to a certain point, a line drawn in the sky. Then, with a solemn wag of their wings, they'd peel off, leaving the bomber crews to face the inferno alone. The despair was palpable, a heavy cloak that settled over every mission. Pilots and gunners, after surviving one harrowing flight, would look at the empty bunks of their fallen comrades and wonder, with a sickening lurch in their stomachs, if they would be next. Morale plummeted. The very heart of the strategic bombing campaign was at risk of breaking, not from enemy resistance, but from sheer attrition, from the crushing weight of fear, and the feeling of being abandoned in the vast hostile sky. The need was desperate, urgent, a cry echoing across the Atlantic, a fighter that could go the distance, that could stay with the bombers from takeoff to target and back again, protecting them every agonizing mile. The British, in a moment of remarkable foresight, had already commissioned North American Aviation to build a new fighter. Initially, it was designed around the Allison engine, a good power plant, certainly, but one that excelled at lower altitudes. This early version, the P-51 Mustang, was fast and agile, a joy to fly, a sleek, beautiful machine. But it lacked the high-altitude performance needed to tangle with the Luftwaffe at the altitudes where the bombers flew. It was a diamond in the rough, a magnificent airframe waiting for its true heart, its defining moment. That heart arrived, not from an American factory, but from a British one, the legendary Rolls-Royce Merlin engine. This engineering marvel, already powering the iconic Spitfire and Hurricane to glory in the Battle of Britain, was a masterpiece of design, known for its immense power and unwavering reliability at high altitudes. It was a stroke of genius, a desperate gamble, to combine an American airframe with a British engine. The transformation was immediate, breathtaking, a true metamorphosis. The P-51B and C models, now powered by the mighty Merlin, were not just faster, they were utterly transformed. They could climb higher, fly further, and outmaneuver almost anything the Germans could throw at them. The Mustang had found its soul, its purpose, its destiny. The first missions with the Merlin-powered Mustangs were tentative, then revolutionary. Bomber crews, accustomed to seeing their escorts turn back at the halfway point, watched in disbelief as these sleek, silver-winged fighters stayed with them, mile after agonizing mile, deep into the heart of Germany. For the Luftwaffe, it was a shock, a sudden, terrifying shift in the very fabric of the air war. Their pilots, once confident in their ability to decimate bomber formations once the short-range escorts departed, suddenly found themselves facing an adversary they couldn't shake, an enemy that seemed to appear from nowhere and vanish just as quickly. The Mustang was faster, could climb higher, and its pilots, now confident they could reach the enemy in return, were aggressive, relentless, imbued with a newfound courage. Picture this: a squadron of Focke-Wulf 190s, their engines screaming, diving on a formation of B-17s, their guns blazing, anticipating an easy kill. Suddenly, from above, from out of the blinding sun, a blur of silver and yellow. A Mustang, its .650 caliber machine guns spitting fire, tearing through the German formation with terrifying speed. The Focke-Wulfs, caught completely by surprise, tried desperately to evade, but the Mustang was on them, a predator unleashed, a silver blur of destruction. One German pilot, witnessing the sheer speed and ferocity of these new American fighters, reportedly radioed back to base, his voice laced with pure terror. "They are everywhere. It is death from above." That phrase, "death from above," became a chilling, inescapable reality for the Luftwaffe. The arrival of the P-51 Mustang fundamentally shifted the balance of power in the skies over Europe, irrevocably. Bomber losses, which had been unsustainable, began to plummet dramatically. The morale of the bomber crews, once at rock bottom, soared. They knew now that they had a protector, a guardian that would stay with them until the very end, a silver shield against the storm. The Mustang pilots, often flying missions lasting 6, 7, even 8 hours, became legends in their own right. They didn't just escort, they hunted. They chased German fighters back to their airfields, destroying them on the ground, denying them sanctuary. They cleared the skies, systematically, relentlessly, paving the way for the D-Day landings and the final, decisive push into Germany. The psychological warfare was as devastating as the physical. German pilots, once confident, once masters of their domain, now hesitated. They knew that beyond the range of their own airfields, they faced an enemy that was superior in every way, an enemy that would not relent. The skies, once their domain, had been taken from them, conquered by a machine they could not defeat. The P-51 Mustang, born out of desperation and forged in the crucible of war, became more than just an aircraft. It became a symbol of hope, of resilience, and of the relentless pursuit of victory against overwhelming odds. It was a testament to human ingenuity, to the power of combining the best of different worlds, an American airframe, a British engine, to create something truly extraordinary, something that transcended its individual parts. Its sleek lines, its powerful engine, its deadly effectiveness, all contributed to its enduring legend. It didn't just win air battles, it won the air war. It ensured that the strategic bombing campaign could continue, that the pressure on Germany would not relent, that the path to victory would be cleared. And for the young men who flew those bombers, who once faced certain death beyond the reach of their escorts, the sight of those silver wings, those long-range guardians, was the most beautiful, most comforting sight in the world. The P-51 Mustang truly was death from above for those who stood against freedom, and a beacon of hope for those who fought for it. Its legacy echoes still, a powerful reminder of what can be achieved when courage meets innovation in the darkest, most desperate of times.